She might be right in front of you every day. A glance, a smile, something subtle. And you keep wondering? Is that interest? Or just politeness? Because attraction rarely speaks out loud. It hides in signals so small they're easy to dismiss. The problem isn't that she isn't showing it. It's that most men never see it. And sometimes, you only realize it after the moment has passed. In the next few minutes, you'll notice the signs that look ordinary, but may mean far more than you think. 1. She laughs easily around you. There are many kinds of laughter. Some are loud. Some are polite. Some are simply reflex. But then there is the laughter that feels unguarded. When a woman feels genuinely comfortable around you, her body relaxes before her mind labels it. You say something ordinary. She laughs anyway. Not the rehearsed social laugh. Not the courteous smile. But something softer. Warmer. Psychology recognizes this as a tension release response. Attraction often creates subtle nervous energy. Not anxiety, but awareness. Laughter becomes the nervous system's way of regulating that charge. You've seen this in real life. A man tells a simple story. Nothing remarkable. Yet she laughs with brightness in her eyes. Not because the story is exceptional, but because emotional comfort amplifies everything. People rarely laugh freely in the presence of indifference. Victor Borge once said, "Laughter is the shortest distance between two people. The key is not how funny you are, but how natural her laughter feels. If it appears easily, repeatedly, without strain, you are witnessing emotional ease. And emotional ease is the soil where attraction grows. When you notice this, resist the urge to perform harder. Do not chase more laughs. Do not turn yourself into an entertainer. Over-effort quietly kills intrigue. Stay grounded. Stay natural. Quiet confidence is always more magnetic than forced charm." 2. She touches or adjusts her hair. The most revealing signals are often the smallest. A subtle movement. Fingers brushing through her hair. Almost invisible. Self-grooming behaviors are deeply instinctive. They emerge when someone becomes aware of being observed by a person who matters. Behavioral psychology links this to subconscious presentation adjustments. Not vanity. Not performance. But a reflexive response to heightened self-awareness. She smooths her hair. Tucks it behind her ear. A gentle, almost absent-minded gesture. Yet rarely meaningless. This behavior often appears at specific moments. When you look at her. When the conversation shifts in tone. When silence briefly enters the space between you. You've likely witnessed this scene. Two people talking casually. Nothing dramatic unfolding. Yet at the precise moment eye contact deepens. Her hand rises softly to her hair. Sophia Loren once said, "Beauty is how you feel inside." When internal states shift, external micro-behaviors follow. Hair becomes a canvas for subconscious expression. When you notice this, remain composed. Do not stare. Do not comment. Do not make her self-conscious about the gesture. Simply maintain calm presence. Attraction thrives in environments free from pressure. Stillness is often more powerful than reaction. 3. She holds eye contact. Eye contact is never just visual. It is neurological. Emotional. When a woman maintains her gaze longer than social convention requires, something deeper is occurring. Social psychology consistently shows that interest increases gaze duration. Because the eyes are the fastest channel for emotional reading. She looks. And stays. 1 second longer. Then another. The air subtly shifts. In real life, this moment feels unmistakable. Conversation slows without anyone deciding it should. Silence enters but carries weight. Paul Newman once reflected, "The eyes say what words cannot." If she holds your gaze, she is fully present in that shared moment. How she breaks eye contact also matters. A sudden, sharp glance away can signal discomfort. But a slow, downward drift often reflects emotional awareness. Not rejection, but recognition of internal sensation. When this happens, meet her gaze steadily. Without intensity. Without challenge. No dominance. No retreat. Just quiet stability. Because the way you hold eye contact reveals your inner state. Calm eyes communicate calm strength. And calm strength feels safe. Safety deepens attraction. 4. She shows stronger emotion around you. Attraction is not always expressed through sweetness. Sometimes it appears as teasing. Playful irritation. Unexpected intensity. Emotion requires energy investment. Indifference requires none. If she reacts more strongly to you than to others, that contrast is information. You've seen this dynamic unfold. She lightly complains when you're late. Yet her tone carries warmth, not hostility. She challenges you, but stays engaged. Freud observed, unexpressed emotions never die. They surface indirectly. When emotions appear, many men misinterpret the signal. They become defensive, over-explain, attempt to regain control. But emotional steadiness is the stronger response. Stoic presence does not suppress emotion. It stabilizes reaction. You listen. You respond lightly, unshaken. Because composure under emotional fluctuation signals maturity. And maturity signals safety. Safety invites closeness. 5. She speaks about you in the future. Future-oriented language is subtle but revealing. Next time. We should. Are you going next week? This is psychological projection. She imagines your presence beyond the current moment. You move from now into continuity. In real interactions, this often sounds casual, almost throwaway. But its meaning can be significant. Lincoln once said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." When she opens that conversational window, your response shapes the energy. Vague replies prolong uncertainty. Clear, relaxed responses create direction. Let's do that. Sounds good. No pressure. No theatrics. Just calm decisiveness. Because grounded leadership feels reassuring. And reassurance strengthens attraction. 6. She reduces physical distance. Distance is never random. Humans are instinctively protective of personal space. We move closer only when comfort permits it. If she subtly positions herself nearer to you, lingers within your proximity, or chooses your vicinity when alternatives exist, that shift carries meaning. Proxemics, the psychology of space, explains this clearly. Physical distance often mirrors emotional distance. You've seen this in everyday life. A crowded room. Multiple empty places. Yet she stands closer to you than necessary. Not touching, but near. Comfort shrinks space. Discomfort expands it. This movement is usually unconscious. Which is why it's so revealing. When you notice it, resist misreading it as permission. Closeness is not invitation. It is information. You don't invade. You don't lean aggressively. You simply acknowledge it internally. Remain relaxed. Because men who rush toward proximity often trigger retreat. But men who stay composed create safety. And safety allows space to close even further. 7. Her voice softens or changes around you. Emotion subtly reshapes sound. A slower cadence. A warmer tone. A gentler rhythm. The voice often reflects internal state before words do. When a woman feels at ease or intrigued, her vocal texture may shift. Slightly softer. Less guarded. Sometimes with a delicate upward lilt. Psychology links this to rapport-seeking behavior. Humans unconsciously adjust tonality when they feel connected. You've heard this before. She speaks one way to others. Another way to you. Same words. Different energy. Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, but never how you made them feel." Tonality is feeling made audible. When you notice this, don't overanalyze. And don't suddenly deepen your voice artificially. Authenticity always outperforms imitation. Instead, slow your pace slightly. Lower your conversational tempo. Calm is contagious. And a grounded voice signals emotional stability. Stability is deeply attractive. 8. She qualifies herself to you. Effort reveals orientation. When you express a preference, and she responds by aligning, explaining, or emphasizing similarity, that is rarely accidental. I love that too. I'm exactly like that. This behavior reflects subtle investment, a desire to build common ground. In social psychology, this connects to rapport building and validation dynamics. You've seen it unfold naturally. You mention enjoying deep conversations. She quickly shares how much she values meaningful dialogue. Not defensive, but eager. Tony Robbins often says, "Where focus goes, energy flows." When she directs energy toward matching your frame, attention is present. When you notice this, avoid turning it into a test. Attraction is not strengthened by interrogation. Receive it lightly, with appreciation, not ego. Because authenticity sustains connection, and connection sustains attraction. 9. She lets physical contact linger. Touch is neurologically powerful. Even brief contact activates emotional and sensory circuits. If a moment of physical connection extends naturally, a handshake held a fraction longer, a casual touch not immediately withdrawn, comfort is present, not tension, not resistance. You've felt this difference before. A touch that ends instantly, a touch that breathes. Dale Carnegie wrote, "Simple gestures carry profound impact." Lingering contact often signals ease within shared space. When this happens, stay relaxed. No sudden intensity. No dramatic shift in behavior. Because forced meaning disrupts natural rhythm. Allow the moment to remain what it is. Light. Unpressured. Confidence moves slowly. And slow energy feels safe. 10. Her body language opens toward you. The body broadcasts comfort continuously. Shoulders facing you. Arms uncrossed. Posture relaxed. Open body language reflects psychological receptivity. Amy Cuddy's research highlights the connection between posture and emotional state. When someone feels safe, their physical barriers lower. You've seen this without noticing it consciously. She turns her torso toward you. Leans slightly in. Not exaggerated. Just natural orientation. When you recognize this, mirror calm openness. Not mimicry, but alignment. Relaxed shoulders. Steady stance. Because congruent body language builds subconscious trust. And trust is the silent foundation of attraction. 11. She uses your name often. A person's name carries emotional weight. Psychologically, hearing or speaking a name activates personal association. It's never just a word. When a woman repeats your name naturally in conversation, it can signal familiarity, comfort, and subtle focus. You've experienced this yourself. We rarely say someone's name repeatedly without a reason. "John, that's interesting. John, you always say that." The tone is often relaxed, unforced. Dale Carnegie famously said, "A person's name is the sweetest sound to them." Names create micro moments of connection. When she uses yours frequently, she may be reinforcing that bond, consciously or not. When you notice this, respond with calm warmth. Use her name occasionally. Not excessively. Not theatrically. Just enough to mirror familiarity. Because mutual recognition deepens rapport. And rapport quietly strengthens attraction. 12. She asks deeper, more personal questions. Curiosity reveals investment. There is a difference between polite questions and meaningful ones. Surface-level questions gather information. Deeper questions explore perspective. How do you feel about that? What do you actually think? This shift signals interest beyond small talk. Carl Jung believed true connection begins when conversation moves beneath the surface. In real life, this moment feels different. The dialogue slows, becomes more intentional. She is no longer filling silence. She is exploring you. When this happens, resist guarded, minimal answers. And resist oversharing in excitement. Instead, respond honestly. Calmly. Depth invites depth. Authenticity builds emotional trust. And trust builds attraction that lasts. 13. She playfully introduces boundaries. You're not allowed to get ideas. Don't think too far ahead. Statements like these may sound like resistance. But context and tone define meaning. Sometimes, playful restraint signals awareness, rather than rejection. Mark Twain once observed, "Prohibition often increases curiosity." In real interactions, these lines are often delivered with a smile, a teasing tone, a glimmer in the eyes. Not cold, not defensive. When you hear this, avoid overreaction. No embarrassment. No defensive explanation. Smile lightly. Stay composed. Respect the words. Read the energy. Because confidence is measured, not by pushing boundaries, but by remaining unfazed by them. 14. She tests your reactions. Attraction often comes with subtle tests. Teasing. Challenging remarks. Playful contradictions. These moments are rarely random. They often serve as emotional calibration. Will he become defensive? Will he lose composure? Nietzsche wrote, "He who cannot be disturbed commands respect." When she challenges you lightly, your stability becomes the real answer. Many men fail here. They justify, argue, overcorrect. But composure communicates strength. You listen. Respond calmly. Unshaken. Because emotional steadiness signals confidence. Confidence signals safety. And safety sustains attraction. 15. She makes herself available. Time is the clearest indicator of interest. Words can mislead. Schedules rarely do. When a woman consistently creates space for you to meet, to talk, to engage, that pattern speaks plainly. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited. People invest it where value exists." In real life, this truth is simple. Someone interested finds a way. Someone uninterested finds an excuse. When you recognize genuine availability, respond with appreciation, not entitlement. Value the reciprocity. Pursue with calm intention, never desperation. Because mutual effort defines mutual interest. And dignity preserves attraction. Attraction whispers. Behavior reveals. Patterns tell the truth. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Silent Stoic, where calm becomes your advantage. Which signal have you seen, but questioned?